I'm feeling so unstoppable, beating the impossible. Being number one ain't nothing new. Get up off the tracks, it's that choo-choo. Yeah, that J-train coming through. I said that choo-choo. Yeah, that J-train coming through. You know that choo-choo. Yeah, that J-train coming through. It's that J-train coming through. That J-train coming through. But I'm coming for it all. Yeah, me and brother Vinny, I'm a top-notch warrior, but
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Blood, Sweat, and Banter podcast. As always, it's your boy, Justin J. Train, alongside your co-host, Vinny Headlock. We got a lot of hot topics today about just various things that are hot in the MMA world. But being the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we want to touch base and just say how thankful we are to have you all being here with us. Speaking of being thankful, Vinny, what are you thankful for?
Thankful for so much, man. I mean, the first thing I'm very thankful for is my family. I get to do a great show with a great person and share it with you guys. And amongst that, I mean, that's the one thing you come into the world with, and it's, if you got a great family, it's what you leave the world with, those memories. But personally, I'm thankful for my health, man. Last year, this year I got engaged. And so one of the biggest things I was having like a mental block on was my weight. I was pushing around 280 pounds. And since then I've dropped 40. So I'm at 240. If you guys are good at math, that's less than what I weighed before. So just want to get in shape for the wedding, and wrestling season just started, so I'm happy that I can be a little bit more active with these guys. So really thankful for that in my life. What about you?
Well, dude, you look good, man. You look good. Honestly, I've noticed for a while. It's cool to see. It's fun to be a part of the journey, just seeing you get there. And I'm excited to see whenever you get down to your weight for the wedding.
Oh my God, dude! I'm gonna look like Rico Suave. I'm gonna have abs.
Dude, and Leah's gonna be in for some trouble. She's not gonna be able to leave her hands off you, But
we're gonna have to cancel the honeymoon. You know what I'm saying?
That's for another, maybe a more.
Hey, this is a family show. This is a family show, Justin.
What am I thankful for, man? I'm thankful for a lot, man. God has blessed me with a lot of things, man. I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly. I am surrounded by so many just great people, man. And I love it all, man. I love the fact that the people I'm around support me and I support them. And man, to the top we go.
Man, to the top. And I guess we want to start at the top with one of the most biggest headlines in the MMA world.
Oh man, we went from a very dramatic positive to a very harsh hit, but I mean, everybody knows we're gonna hit it. Conor McGregor recently was found guilty by a jury in Ireland that there were some rape allegations. From what I read, they're just calling it as
sexual
assault. And dang, man, it is crazy for such a big star, somebody who has been on the top of the game, the face of the UFC. I mean, even though he hasn't fought recently, just to go through something like this. And man, what does Kanye say? No one man should have all that power. But it's just crazy to think of, like, damn, dude, you have it all, and this is what you're doing, But I guess allegations. This is alleged. So let me, before I start saying things and tricking my audience to pick one way or the other, I'll be the first to say it, man. Nobody should have to go through the things. I believe the lady's name was Nikita Hand, was the victim in this situation. And man, hey, no girl deserves to have that done. They're still appealing the process and going into further court. And I think this happened back in 2018 where he did pay her off
like $250K or in euros,
with
250,000 euros.
And dollars are pretty similar. I'm not sure which one's more right now, but
regardless, it's like you can't put a price on that, just like emotional turmoil. You know?
No. That would. Can you put a price on being changed for the rest of your life?
Absolutely not, man.
I don't think so.
I'm sure she's like, oh, I got money, but but now this is where the allegation part comes in.
Yes.
Because, we think of people like Sean Oakman, the football player from Baylor.
Big, buff. There was that
picture
at
gold
the time.
Face mask and
Played for Baylor. He was like the middle linebacker for Baylor, and he had the cutoff jersey that was only like down below his pecs. But you're like, holy shit, I wouldn't want to get hit by that guy.
Well, he looked like the Uber shredder. Remember him?
Yes,
dude. He was, but he went through
the ooze, man.
He drank the ooze. He was played by Kevin Nash.
I did know that actually,
but still on topic. Sean Oakman went through that, and it stunk because it was just an allegations. He lost out on the opportunity to make millions of dollars in the NFL, and it's like a long part of his life was just taken away from him from false allegations.
I'm very curious what he is doing now. I do believe he had his degree, and at one point I thought he was doing something with law, but I don't quote me on that. That was several years ago. I mean, shoot, let's even relate it to somebody else who
in the combat sports world, right?
Similar situation. Mike Tyson. Several years ago, man, he was at probably maybe not the prime, but maybe the prime of his career, man. He was hot. He was known as the baddest man on the planet at that time. Went through similar situation, rape allegations, and he actually served time for it.
Yeah.
I don't think McGregor's going to serve any time.
Probably
maybe at some point, but not right now.
Dana White will pull out all the stops to make sure he doesn't go to jail.
Man, I feel like that's the Dana White privilege, man. If you're making money and you're bringing money to the sport, lucky, I guess. I don't know.
So, and we want to say, like, we do not support anything that Conor McGregor's done or has been alleged to have done.
We're just hitting on the topic, touching base on it. I mean, he is facing some repercussions, maybe not as drastic as what people would like, or maybe what people would like. Proper 12 cut him his name and image from their marketing,
that's a big blow for him, man. He built the company, and now it's like, get the heck out of here.
I mean, I can't blame him considering everything, and I'm sure he gets it. I mean, he's still filthy rich, but I just the mental and just stress it would cause on your family, on Dee Devlin. I feel like she's been through him. Her story is really cool of like supporting him when he was nothing.
He was on welfare.
Now where he is today, and just, hey man, it's just shit that they're gonna have to clean up and get figured out, I suppose.
Yeah, and we hope that if this woman is trying to do, just make false allegations, it's karma's a bitch.
We'll see how it plays out. From my understanding, he asked his lawyers and attorneys and whatnot to appeal it and to go into further investigations to see what's happening. So
he's got a big support system, and I think they're going to do their best to make sure that the truth comes out. And who knows, maybe she changes her gears after she realizes maybe, hey, I'm not going to lie no more. But if it's true, then we're going to see what happens and what kind of person Conor McGregor really is.
I mean, man, I'm sure this is going to get ugly, and this is going to be going on. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better, I would assume. So I'm just curious. I mean, the whole fight world was ready to see him come back. Obviously, faced some injuries. Obviously, this has always been an issue behind the scenes that hasn't really been addressed until now. But it's out there. It's public. It's worldwide. So, but shoot. Let's change it to something more positive. Let's get back to the important stuff that everybody wants to hear about.
We want to talk about fights, damn it. Not legal battles. Fist battles. That's what we want.
Last weekend in UFC Fight Night in, where was it? Macau, China. So for those of you who stayed up and watched it, you guys already know all this. I kind of followed, but it was pretty late. So
it was nuts though, because like literally I woke up in the morning, gonna take Max to a tournament. I look at my phone because that's what everyone does. You wake up, you grab that phone, and I just see, Piotr Jan.
Piotr, I think that's right.
Piotr Jan wins by a decision. I'm like, there was fights on today?
5-rounder against Davison Figueiredo, the God of War.
former flyweight champ.
And I mean, I didn't get to watch it, but I watched the highlights. And shoot, man, I am a big fan of both of those guys, and I was so excited for that fight because, dude, those are two bad dudes going at it. And I just I'd hate, you don't want to see either one lose, but now that it's done, I'm like, okay, Peter Yan is, hey man, he's relevant again. It's not like he didn't lose his star power because he's always putting on such great fights, and he lost some very controversial decisions on his losing skid there for a little bit. But shit, dude, he is back. And I mean, shit, dude, does that put him back in title contention? Maybe one more.
But if I was to pick a fight that he's got to go next, it's got to be O'Malley, dude. He's got to get that one back.
And it was very controversial at the time, man. I personally thought Peter Yan won, but I mean, damage-wise, you could argue why O'Malley did, and ultimately he did get the win. So, dude, I mean, I'm sure the whole world would be excited for that. And I mean, it could make sense.
Make it 5 rounds,
Merab versus Umar would be a very big title fight. Merab versus O'Malley. Shit, dude, I'd even be cool to see in Merab versus Piotr.
Yeah, man. Well, they fought before, did they not?
Peter Yan?
I think so.
Merab?
I want to say, let me check that really quick.
Because I didn't, if I didn't know that.
Song You Don't.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that song.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, they went to a 5-round decision. So, I mean.
Oh, he just took him down.
Did the Merab special. But, hey, man. Piotr's on a freaking comeback tour. He beat Song Yadong.
Song Yadong's no joke.
He's always tough.
No joke.
And now I think for him to make this perfect arc, if he beats O'Malley, what they should do is either let it main event a fight night. They could go 5 rounds. That way you don't get these judges saying stuff like
they just did.
Well, against O'Malley though.
Okay. I think that's too big to be on a fight night, dude. They'll make it a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
maybe
co-main.
Maybe a co-main. Because if they want it to be the 5 round, I think that'd be the fight to make. But I'm sure O'Malley, he's fighting for that rematch with Merab.
Yeah, he wants it.
People are saying, I read this article just recently saying that he's having a hip surgery because he tore his labrum in his hip, saying that he wasn't all he could be. But hey, man.
Hey, if you can beat a champ with a messed up hip, hey, you are the champ. Let's wait till you get.
I agree.
But man, so good for Piotr for getting that fight. 2 in a row now. He's definitely on the doorstep. I think it's O'Malley, but there's so many killers at 135.
Such a stacked weight, man. I'd love to see them all. I mean, Bautista coming up, maybe just because he just beat Aldo. It wasn't the win that the fans wanted, but technically he got the dub on the judges' scorecard. So
if pushing somebody against the wall and just keeping them there is a fight, then I don't know what fighting is.
Well, if it was sumo wrestling, he'd be the clear winner.
If it was his wife, he'd probably have 3 more babies. But it ain't that, man. And it was Batista was just cocky afterwards. That's why people hated it.
Yeah.
If he was like, it wasn't my best fight. I played it a little too safe, but I'm gonna come back and fight better.
A lot too safe.
Yeah, it's like you're in a fight, man. Don't play it safe. But anyways, hey, Piotr Yan, you want to fuck up Batista for us?
I think the world would enjoy that, and they'd appreciate it.
Or throw him to Alex. The Poetan. Throw him to.
He's like 135er, dude. You can't jump all the way up to.
Hey, you beat up one of Brazil's finest. You get the Connecticut's finest
one, all right.
But man, so I mean that was the main event, but women's fight in the co-main, big fight for the strawweight division, and
Yan Xiaonan came up with the decision win over tough Tabitha Ritchie, but I mean she looked good, dude. It was a pretty good fight for the most part. I mean, I obviously like I said, I didn't watch it live, but I watched the highlights, I read the recaps, and it sounded like it was a pretty one-sided fight. But shoot, dude, and I got to watch Tabitha Ritchie fight way back in the day for LFA. She was going to fight Kelsey Arneson, one of our studs from Trials. And we both knew it was a good fight, man. Kelsey ended up losing, and shortly after that, Richie got signed like almost right away. But it was just like, dang, it was pretty cool to see her on the up and up, even losing to former title challenger. You know, I was like, hey, that's you're up there and you're in the mix. So
Yeah.
I feel like she's fairly young too. So
Yeah, she's got time. I mean, and the women's division, you can fight, well into your 30s. I mean, who was it that I'm thinking about? Lauren Murphy. I mean, dude, she's and I'm not gonna say old. You never talk about a woman's age, but for the fight game, she's definitely been around the block. And Misha Tate still in the mix of things. I mean, she's not. I don't know about title contention, but hey, if you're willing to step into the cage,
star power draws people want to see her fight. So
she's got time. She'll be fine. But good win for Yao Zhanyan. I'm saying that fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I would just say
Yan. Okay. But good win for her, especially being in China. That probably meant a lot to her to showcase in a big stage for that.
Fun to put on for your country in front of your home country. Big win.
Yeah,
Shoot, after that, Salikov, that spinning head kick was.
He loves
he likes hitting those, and that's clearly why it worked, man. He knocked out his opponent. I want to say it was in the third round. Is that right? Maybe that was the other girl who did it in the third, but regardless.
But the chick that did it, that was the road to the UFC. So it's kind of like the Ultimate Fighter, just China's version.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, she became a star overnight.
I mean, it was pretty sweet. She just kind of like dipped. She was like almost thinking that overhand, and then she just led with that head kick. And what was her name? Ming Shi, I believe is her name. And she's a star now, dude. That was pretty sweet.
Did you see that thing that she's a doctor?
I did not see that.
Yeah, dude, she
badass. Like she has her doctorate, or she's an actual medical doctor.
Medical. Wow. She works at a hospital.
Talk about being successful in life, like shit, dude.
And Rosie Sexton was the first one. She's an old school female fighter that was also a doctor, and but she was like, I'm just going to medical school, but I want to compete. Being younger, having her degree, being a medical professional, and also being this badass person really makes a difference. Like, I mean, we said it before with Crow Cop. Right Kick Hospital, which she is like, and then I'm gonna get paid to treat you.
And so I'm getting paid twice, bro.
I'm just printing money at this point. It was like, I kick your ass and then I take care of you. That's the nicest person I could probably think of. It's like, all right,
who better to have in there than a medical doctor who could knock you out and then cure you, and make sure you're good.
Ring doctor's like, all right, step away,
step away. I got
this. But hey, congrats to her, man, winning that road to the UFC tournament. Went viral with her knockout because, women's fights, they usually don't end like that, man. And if you can put people to sleep, you're going to be a star. So
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely going to bookmark her name to see where her career goes from here.
I mean, dude, she looks good. So we'll see. We'll see what's next for her. There's a couple more fights that we want to talk about. Not on that card. Let's
jump to next week's card for the UFC.
Let's jump to next week's card, and then we'll finish with this week's card
because it's the last pay-per-view of the year.
UFC 309, Pantoja versus Asakura. He is the Risen champ,
which is crazy because I saw this video and it went through like there was no such thing as like, at least in modern times, nobody comes from the other organizations and gets an immediate title shot.
No, and I mean, dude is tough. He shows he's tough, but I almost don't. I mean, maybe just the fact that Pantoja's kind of ran through everybody on his climb up to the belt, and then now that he got the belt, he's defended several times. Mm-hmm. It's like, who else is left for him? I mean, he's beaten some people twice. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
and
he's beaten Royval twice, right?
Yeah,
he
beat him on the way up. I think
on the way up, and then I mean, he just got a win over my boy,
Tatsudo. Man, I don't bet on a lot of fights, but man, Tatsuro, and that was a great fight,
fight, dude. Back and forth battle between both, where I was like, damn, dude, this could go in either way.
But how old is Tatsuro? 23, 24?
He's young. He's very young. I don't know exactly how old he is.
But he's in his early 20s. Again, he has time.
He will be champ before his competing is done. I mean, shit, dude, that was a great fight.
Yeah, and so, but back to Pantoja, like, yeah, he just ran through the division, and that's what stinks when you have a division that's, I'm not gonna say it's weak or like light of talent, but it's one of those things where if you're in the UFC for a long time and you fought everybody, it's just like, what do you do?
Yeah,
You know?
they have to bring in somebody new for him, and hey, man, that's why it's part of the fight game. Is you have to still fight, and he's got it. I still think Pantoja is going to Pantoja him. He's going to take him down. He's going to grapple him, maybe submit him, but I just think it's going to be probably a 5-round decision.
Yeah, and so we'll see what happens, man. And who knows? I mean, not Askarov. What the hell am I thinking about? Asakura. See, and maybe that's just disrespectful. I'm not giving this guy his due. He's obviously fighting for a title.
Dude, I've seen it. I've seen some highlights. He fought Mano Cape and Risen, I believe. He's fought.
Did he fight Horiguchi?
Ah, man, I feel like that would make sense. I'm having a little brain fart right now, but hey, he's beating some high names, dude. He's beating some big names, so it's like you can't just count him out, man. And he was the champ over there, so it's like champ is champ, kind of.
Yeah, and so it's going to be interesting to see what comes from that fight because, like I said, everyone else, you came from Bellator or Strikeforce or any of these big organizations, even Pride. I don't remember anyone ever getting an immediate title shot coming from there.
No, I don't think so either.
Like I won. Dan Henderson. That's the only one that I remembered because he was the double champ in Pride, and then he fought Rampage.
He was Strikeforce champ. He was Pride champ. Was he Strikeforce champ?
Not when he fought Rampage and Anderson. No. He was just the Pride champ, and then Pride got bought, and then Hendo fought Rampage, went to a decision, and then he fought Anderson at 85s, and he got choked. But that's the only guy I know that, at least in a more modern era, went straight from one organization as the champ to the next.
And just, I mean, I guess with the Bellator PFL combo, merger.
Yeah. I mean, but think of it then this way. It's like
very
Chandler.
You still have to.
He didn't get an immediate title shot. He had to beat Dan Hooker. Jake Shields probably would have been the best person that, hey, I'm going to get him at the time. No, he had to beat Martin Kampman first. And he just beat Dan Henderson after he knocked out Bisping, and no immediate title shot when Strikeforce was merged. So, Asakura, good luck to you, man. Do something that nobody else could.
Hey, man, this is how stars are made right here. You get the opportunity. When preparation meets opportunity, that's luck, right?
Exactly. So, but that's the main event of that night. But there's some sleeper hits on this fight card, man.
Let's go to the next fight. The co-main, I mean, the Battle of the Undefeateds. It was this was supposed to be for the belt.
It was supposed to,
correct?
Yeah, Shavkat Rakhmonov was supposed to fight Bilal Muhammad. Bilal
has like a toe infection.
It was a bone infection.
Which
we've
talked about on one of our previous podcasts. And
check it out.
It looks pretty gross. And hey, people hate like, oh, it's a toe, you can fight, dude. Have a bone fucking infection and try to fight, man. It's a lot harder than you think. And the bad thing about most toes, like you break a toe, there's not much you can do, dude. You got to just let it heal. It takes time.
So, but we get a great co-main event out of
this.
This
is a good replacement. Battle of the Undefeateds. And interesting because I trained down at the time before, now it's Killcliff. It was Sanford. They were both training there. And, it's always just fun to see if like, hey, people who formerly trained together, they're both having a lot of success. Somebody knows, one of them knows deep down in their head how those rounds went. And we'll see if it plays a factor come next weekend.
Yeah, man. And the thing is with this fight, I feel like Ian Gary, they constantly give him a tough rap at things just because of his personal life. But dude, the guy can fight.
Dude can fight. He's beaten a lot of high level guys, and he's done it in a lot of different ways. So I'm like,
punked Magny, and then he beat MVP. Again, boring fights, but he knows how to win, and that's what matters.
Absolutely.
But Shavkat, dude, he's been a freaking menace,
dude. He's not just beating people. He's ending the fights.
You seen this fight with Jeff Neal?
Where where
he just puts big brothers in.
Like, I was like, dude, that was, and Jeff Neal ain't no joke, bro.
No,
and he stood and banged with Jeff Neal too. Jeff Neal's knockout power, that guy's good, dude.
And Shavkat was ready, dude. And I remember I saw something on Twitter about that. He said like, welterweight's full of punks. He's like, oh, call out, Usman, nothing, Colby, nothing, and he's just like, everyone wants to flap their lips, and
but nobody wants to fight.
Yeah, so Shavkat's the real deal, dude. He's just like, I'm here,
dude. I'm here. Fight me.
Let's go. What you say you want to fight me, but when I sign contract, it's why am I talking in broken English? When I signed the contract,
you're just re-impersonating him.
When I signed contract, now that's like caveman talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh but drop that. But he's down. He's like, I'll fight anyone. Let's go. I remember he missed his sister's wedding.
Yep.
Because he was training for the fight against was it Wonder Boy? I think it was Wonder Boy.
That, you know what? That sounds right. I do remember he missed his sister's wedding for a fight, and it was just like, damn, that's like, what's up, dude. Respect.
Homeboy's got a goal, and he's like, reminds me of someone else missing a very important wedding, which we also talked about on a previous podcast. But that is, I think that's the fight that really people are going to watch.
That is a really good fight. I mean, dude, winner. Is this for the?
There's no interim or anything.
Interim, just took it off, but still, this is a number one contender fight, dude. Yeah, for sure. Like it's, even though Gary's probably like 5th or 6th right now, but like Shavkat's probably like 1 or 2. I think it just makes sense. They're both undefeated. They're both rising stars, and
someone's has to go, man. And
I think, if I had to call it, I think Shavkat gets it done, dude.
He's finished everyone that he's fought in the UFC. He hasn't gone to a decision, and I don't think that's going to stop, man. I'll say I want to see him knock out Ian Gary, but honestly,
I think he might sub him.
I think he's going to get a sub. So
he can strike with him. He'll take him down, and he'll work in those chokes, and I think that's his game plan right there.
Absolutely so.
But other good fights coming up. I mean, let's jump up to the big boys. We had the small guys. Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. I mean, dude, this is up there. Maybe not a number one contender just because Aspinall has.
Yeah, he's the clear number one guy.
And he's calling for the GOAT. I think that's what needs to be the number one contender. But if this isn't the next thing behind it, then I don't know who is, because Gane has only lost to some of the best. I mean, his last fight lost to Jones, right?
Lost to Jones, and the fight before that had. And I'll say it was a competitive fight with Ngannou. He was giving it fits.
Yeah.
And then makes me remember Nate Diaz. He's like, "Oh, you're a wrestler now," because we've never seen Ngannou go for takedowns
wrestle ever. And obviously he was doing it for a reason. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest wrestling, but didn't need it against kickboxer Cyril Gane.
Yeah. But Gane, he's on a skid, but he's still dangerous, man. But he's got a test, man. Alexander Volkov, former Bellator world champ, and he's just been, and he got his, I wouldn't say his biggest win of his career, but a huge win.
I mean, I don't think anybody really even gave him a shot to beat Sergey.
No, man. Sergey's lost his aura a bit.
That guy was the boogeyman of the division, and shit, man, that fight was good fight, man. Volkov picked him apart, used his range. Sergey couldn't find it, and shit, dude, he did what he had to do. And then at the end, because they trained together, they were kind of, I don't know if you'd say friends, but Sergey got a little salty. But I was like, shit, I already beat you up, dude. Don't make me.
Like, why do you want to fight now? You had 15 minutes to fight, So that's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be a great striking battle. Cyril's.
Man, I mean, I think Volkov's reach gives a lot of people problems, but Cyril Gane is probably one of the best strikers in the game, especially at heavyweight, of just how skilled he is in kickboxing. I think it's an exciting fight.
It's going to be
number
good.
2 contender.
Yeah. Right? Well, and if you want to make jokes at Jones for ducking people, he's probably going to be like, all right, so
I'll take the winner of these guys.
Yeah, I'll take these guys because, Tom he doesn't have anything yet. It's like, but Alexander Volkov was a Bellator champ, so I mean, come on, man.
So, and it's already beat the other guy, so I don't know, man, but
Or
who you
is
picking?
Well, I'm picking that Jones is going to duck, and then Tom Aspinall is going to fight the winner of this fight. That's what I'm picking.
Jeez, man,
Too much? Too salty?
I think Volkov. I think Volkov's going to get it done, dude.
He will.
I think he will. I think he can grapple a little bit. He can take you down, but his reach, I think, is going to give Gane problems.
Yeah, and Volkov, he has years of experience, and I think he's going to use the striking, use his reach, and he'll get that takedown. And honestly, I say ground and pound.
He could choke him, but I mean, Gane's been out for a while. Hopefully, he's been working on that stuff. You would think, right?
I would think so, but man, just we saw some flaws, and I think everyone's going to try and exploit those, especially Volkov, though.
Absolutely. He's not dumb. He's very smart. He's very educated. He's a veteran of the game, and he's top 5. He's been the top 5 for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And so, but other fights that I think this is one that got a lot of heads kind of scratching was the weirdest fight on the card, especially on the main card. You have Bryce Mitchell, who's returning. He's still ranked in the top 15. He got knocked out by Josh Emmett, had that seizure in the cage.
Pretty ugly knockout.
Dude,
probably knockout contender of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Emmett's old too for the fight game. He's in like 38, 39.
He hasn't fought for a while, and I wonder if that's part of the issue is like, dude, the things that it takes for you to be able to fight, and half the battle is getting to the fight. Yeah. Age plays a detriment of like, dude, you want to train so hard to make sure you're ready, but can your body keep up and get you to the fight?
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, okay, you kind of pull back on certain things so you can get there, but then you're also wondering, is like, man, did I do everything I could have done? And I don't know, man. It's a very fun, interesting game of just how many different dynamics you have to go through.
But I mean, he beat Bryce Mitchell, so
dude, knocked his ass out pretty ugly too. So,
Bryce is getting, but I think Bryce is getting in what a lot of people's eyes is a silver platter win. It's like, hey,
I don't think Kron
Gracie.
He's a Gracie. So obviously his jiu-jitsu has to be legit. So you can't sleep on that. But is he quite the fighter that, I mean, not in the rankings.
He never was in the rankings. His only UFC win was over Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, which, don't get me wrong, great win.
Big win for him.
But then he goes against, what was it? He fought, it was Cub Swanson. And Cub pieced him up, dude.
It just goes to show of like, dude, there's so much that goes into it. I personally think the UFC has given Bryce a little bit of a break, hopefully to keep him relevant, give him a win, give him a fight that, man, he had some pretty gnarly brain injury after that last one. So,
I mean, he fought Aliyah Tapura, and, you know, hey, fighting the champ and up and coming, it is what it is. You know, that was his first loss in the UFC. But then he comes back, beats, I think, Dan Ige. And then
he did beat Danny Ige.
Yeah, it was a decision. And then he gets seizured by Josh Emmett. I definitely think Dana White must have owed him some favors. So he's like, hey, how about this 5-3?
Did Bryce Mitchell jump on that short notice?
This fight?
No, the one with Emmett.
I don't think so.
For some reason, I felt like he did, but I could be wrong. So
he's going to get this fight with Kron. And, I mean, I just don't really like these betting odds. I haven't even looked at them yet, but they got to be bonkers for Bryce Mitchell.
I would assume so. I would assume he's got to be the pretty heavy favorite. No offense against the Gracies. Hopefully they come ready and prepared. I mean, Bryce can grapple. You know, we've seen him. He's choked out. He's legit. Submitted a lot of guys, but Gracie level grappling, that's a different beast, man. But hopefully he keeps his head safe. And I think if he sits and stands with him, does the grappling enough to keep his standing, he'll get the dub.
Yeah, he'll be okay. But like on the main card, over fights like Eric Anders versus Chris Weidman, also on the card, it got rescheduled.
Got bumped back.
Over Aljamain freaking Sterling.
Oh, and he's fighting Evloev, right?
On the prelims.
That's so crazy to me because that's a pretty big fight as well.
I don't understand how people will look at Kron Gracie versus Bryce Mitchell and be like, yeah, put them on the main card. over a former bantamweight great
Thug Nasty
or
Gracie name. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I just don't get it, man. I look at the card. So you got and Nate Landwehr is on the main card. Like I get that's a good opening fight to the main card.
That's a good one, yeah.
But
I would still say that one maybe could be on the prelims, maybe end the prelims.
But yeah, but the fact that
Reyes, Anthony Smith, that's a good fight. I mean, there's a lot of big names on here.
But you can't tell me that Aljamain Sterling, after beating what's his, I can't remember his name, Calvin Kattar.
Yep.
Had that great introduction.
Get thrown back on the undercard against top ranked Evlev.
Yeah. Evloev. I just call him Movsar.
Okay.
Yeah, but that fight, the fact that this is not on the main card blows me away.
Yeah, that's a pretty high level fight.
That's got title implications.
Was Luque and Diaz originally before Diaz got pulled out? Was that on the main card?
I want to say maybe it was, and then they got Themba to step in for Diaz.
Step in fairly short notice, but also a little time to train. So
Diaz shouldn't be fighting, dude.
Man,
he shouldn't.
One last payday right off on the sunset. You know, I wish it wasn't against somebody like Luque because that dude's kind of gangster too.
Yeah, but Luque, he's
maybe
he's
like Diaz versus Ferguson or something. You know, up at 70s.
That'd be a good one. I think that'd honestly be a very good fight.
It's like a retirement fight for both of them.
But Diaz fought Robbie Lawler, and we saw how that went. And that's retiring Robbie Lawler. That's not peak Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, well, Robbie was a scary man back in the day. I mean, even still, dude, I wouldn't want to fight the guy. But.
No, dude. And I remember meeting Robbie at your last fight, and dude, even in retirement, he's a big fucking guy.
He's big.
I don't know, and he used to fight at 85.
He still trains. He still moves around. You know?
Yeah, he's a great coach. So, but for Diaz, man, I hope he fights again. Just like if he needs the money and he can get it while it's hot, I understand because fight game's crazy, man.
That, man. You're hot 1 minute, next minute you're not. Not their situation because they've ran this game for a long time, you know, and Nate's still getting paid in a lot of various ways, you know.
It's Paul fight.
And then he just fought Masvidal in a boxing fight.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, shit, dude, he's still relevant in the game.
So. Yeah, and get that money while you can, man. MMA doesn't pay what it should, and it's, you know, and we can go over that topic all day, but for Nick, I'd like to see him fight just for his sake of like, hey, getting one more big payday. I mean, it wasn't going to be big, but it was going to be something
enough that like, dude, you could do a lot with a couple 100,000, you know?
Oh my gosh. And I don't know what his business is like outside of the cage, but he openly talks about how much he dislikes fighting. But it's like, it's what I do, man. It's just how I make a living, how I need to do this. So for him, I'm guessing maybe just needs a little bit of cash and just says, hey, let's go, dude. I got a contract. I need to get this fight going, you know?
I would rather see it maybe do like a super grappling match, you know?
Yeah.
Or something, just because of like the age factor, how long he's been out. And it's like his body just can't stay healthy to fight, I don't think. But shit, man, let's let him run it back. Let's see.
Yeah. So, man, good sleeper hits on this card. A lot of people said it's pretty mid, but I'm like Brian Battle's a cool fight. I'll be excited to see him.
Brown versus Brian Battle. That's a good fight.
Dominic Reyes came back. He got that win over Hanchek, Justin Jacoby. So
okay.
You know, and Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith, like a veterans fight.
For sure.
Let's see if Reyes can come on the redemption tour. That'd be cool.
I mean, shit, dude. Like John Jones keeps saying, he's like, I made Gustafson and Reyes stars overnight, and I'm like, dude, you arguably lost both of those fights, and I think sometimes if you're the star and there's money to be made, sometimes they do you a solid. But exactly. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But so that's next week. And so, but let's
go to the main topic that I've been waiting to talk about for this week.
Oh, talk about
this Friday, PFL championships. Man, there's a lot of good fights. There's a lot of interesting fights that's in it's in Abu Dhabi? Saudi Arabia?
It's in Saudi Arabia. Well, let me make sure of that because I want to make sure that I got it.
I know it's overseas. the championships, for the whole tournaments, for all the weight classes going on. There's a couple big level fights on the prelims, one of which I am a fan of. This is my weight. Both guys I would like to fight at some point, respectfully, of course, but also just to throw it out there and fucking handle my shit, you know? On the prelims, Pinedo versus Kennedy. Kennedy was ranked number 1, number 2 for Bellator. He lost. He fought for the belt.
He fought.
Lost.
That was his last fight, and it seems like it was so long ago when he fought Pitbull. And I thought he's so much taller than Pitbull, and he had that grappling that neutralized Pico when they fought. That I thought for sure Kennedy was going to give him some fits, and Pitbull just showed why he was the fucking man and kept his title.
Him. Yeah, he just kept. I mean,
just pressure.
Pitbull's a bad dude. I remember before I was joining PFL, as I was joining PFL, they were trying to get the Pinedo versus Pitbull, champ versus champ. I think Pinedo faced some injuries. He pulled out.
He's been out for a while, dude.
Didn't do the tournament this year. Kennedy, I mean, dude, did he fight again after that? That was his last fight, right?
That was his last fight
for a while. So it's a high level fight that I'm sure people want to see. But shit, man, I think it's a good fight. I guess we'll see how it goes.
And I mean, that's the first one, the prelims, that you're just like, okay, this one's got real implications. Because there's also PFL MENA that's doing their championships the same night.
Yes.
And that was such a cool one because there's a lot of unspoken talent on those cards.
Yeah.
Now, I personally
trying to grow the sport.
And I think it's a cool thing that PFL is reaching out to these different places. They got PFL Europe, and then they have PFL MENA, and it's nice that they're building homegrown stars.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if they do good enough, who's to say that they can't get into the tournament, man? It's just like there's talent all over the world that people never even seen just because they don't have the name or they don't have the following in that area. So it's like, what else are they supposed to do?
Yeah, but that's definitely the big fight to watch on the prelims for the PFL championships. And we're going to go one by one, though, and work our way through who we think is going to walk away with $1 million at each weight class, man, because it is stacked.
Main card starts off with Goltsov versus Popov. And holy cow, this is a heavyweight. These guys are both some bad dudes. I want to say Goltsov has like 30 wins, maybe like
35 wins.
I don't know. He's only lost like 4 or 5 times. So
Dennis Goltsov, like last year, was in the PFL finals and fought Renan Pereira, who obviously had a big fight with Ngannou. Didn't go his way, but Goltsov, like, I think he won the first round against Fajeda.
He was in the mix for sure.
It's just with Fajeda, dude, he hits you once, you're just night. So, and he came back and he won he hasn't lost a fight since that fight. So he's now got Oleg Popov, 2 Russian heavyweights
going at it. I mean, Popov is no joke either, man. I've seen him piece up some really high level heavyweights. It's so interesting because he doesn't look athletic. He doesn't look intimidating like some other people do. But man,
19-1 though.
Is one. He has lost 1 fight, but I think I believe he has the longest running streak for heavyweights.
Did he lose his first fight? Or just heavyweight in general?
In heavyweight in general, through all promotions,
okay.
I think he has the longest running unbeaten streak as a heavyweight right now.
See, that's going to be hard for anyone to kind of look at that and be like, well, I'm going to stop it. So if I was to pick this one, I think Dennis, he grew a lot from the last year's finals. He's been there before. And one thing that the PFL is doing, at least for the championships,
elbows and 5-round fights.
So everyone gets more time. Everyone gets big elbows. A lot of people say it's weird that you couldn't use those during the regular season. It's like, well,
it is, but for the sake of I mean, shit, dude. Hey, trust me, I get it. We'll talk about it later. Knees can do some damage too, but I think elbows just cut you, and the fact that you're fighting so shortly after, and there's a lot of fights that you're trying to get through, I understand why they eliminate elbows. But now they're on the table, man, and that changes things. For people who grapple and are very close with their striking or very close with their grappling, elbows, that's the answer, man. It's hard to get that range to throw a full powerful punch, but you can slip in an elbow and do some real damage.
Yeah. And so it's, I say Dennis. Dennis Goltslov is going to win.
I'm gonna go against you, dude. I think Popov is gonna win.
Okay.
I think that dude's hot. 19-1. I bet you 20 push-ups.
20 push-ups? Come on, dude. Just let me do $100, man. That's so much easier. All right, 20 push-ups. We'll post it on the Instagram so you guys can see. But if Justin loses, he's got to do 20 I love yous to me. He's got to look me in the eyes and say, I love you. I love you. 20 times. Dude, because that's a hard thing for him.
5, that turns a little weird.
Well, it's just physically hard because Justin's like I could throw a love you in every now and then as like a good gesture. But 20? That's like physically uncomfortable.
Oh, we're getting closer.
All right. But honestly, one that I like on this card, Brent Prime, and former Bellator champ. I think he's the oldest person in the finals, if I'm not mistaken. He's 39.
That dude is a beast, though, man. He's shoot, man. Hey, he's fought some tough guys. He's beaten some tough guys. I mean, shit. Let's think. He won the belt against Michael Chandler. I think he lost against. He was in the lightweight tournament and lost to.
What was it? Was it Phil Brooks or?
He lost to. Man, now I'm thinking
because he. I mean, for
Shabley.
Well, he won the title against Chandler here. No, that's a loss against Chandler. So he beat him, and then he lost it back to Chandler. But then he went on this insane trip. Oh my God, he went against Craig Jones in grappling? That's nuts.
That's pretty badass.
But then Islam Mamedov loses to him by split decision, beats Benson Henderson, gets knocked out by Alexander Shabley. And that guy's tough too, dude.
But he's on this winning streak right now. He did lose to Usman Nurmagomedov,
but it was no contest.
They changed it to a no contest because
Usman couldn't stay off the sauce.
He was taking something that was an illegal substance. We'll just say it as that. But now he's back. 3-fight win streak. He's in the finals. Man, he's got a bad dude, Rabadanov. Godzi, right?
Godzi Rabadanov. Now, didn't he come from Ryzen? Or has he been in Bellator the whole time?
I'm not super sure where he came from.
So Eagle
I know
FC.
He's a bad dude, too. This guy is...
He's been in Bellator the whole time. And, Godzi beat J.J. Wilson, who formerly used to be a pretty good name in featherweight division. Bobby King, he trained.
All these guys are tough.
But his big win, Michael Dufour, who got really popular in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he put him down in the second round. And, he doesn't lose often.
Dude, that guy hasn't lost in a long time. He's 23-4, but he hasn't lost in several, maybe like 10 fights or so. So I don't know, man. Who do I want to pick for this one?
I'm
Big fan of Brent Primus. I'm rooting for you, but I think Godzi gets it done, dude.
I think of when I think of who this PFL tournament, I think of Sean O'Connell, the commentator, and how he had this. Like, he wasn't even supposed to fight. He was just like, oh, I'll commentate. I was like, fight? It's like, you want in the tournament? He's like, sure, why not? And he got to walk off into the sunset with $1 million and a job.
Which is crazy, dude. So crazy to me. But, hey, it worked out in his favor. So that's a cool story.
And so connected to my prediction, I say Primus is going to get it done. He's a former world champ. He's really had a gap on his competition this whole tournament. And he's going to get the $1 million, and he's going to, I don't know if he's going to retire because, again, 39 is old. He's pretty
for MMA. That's old.
He's a dinosaur in this game right now, is what it kind of seems.
He still got it.
But
have you seen that dude? He's yoked out.
He's huge, dude. So I'm going to say Primus, and same bet: 20 push-ups, 20 I love yous. All right, let's see if I can. Now, question: So if I win both these, does it stack up, or is it just? What if I lose? Like, oh, do I still have to do 20, but you still have to say 20 I love yous?
How about we do it like this? They'll cancel each other out.
Ooh.
If we tie, then it just gets eliminated.
Okay.
And I'll give you one. I'll give you one. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair. And then
on to the next one.
Another Russia versus Russia matchup at the welterweight division.
I've watched both of these dudes throughout the season, and dude, these guys are some bad dudes, man. They're both undefeated, I believe.
Yeah.
I think one man, let's see here.
Magomed is 17-0. And then Shamil
Is
Musayev 19-0-1. So one of those was no contest or a draw. But man, and yeah, got to watch them all throughout the season because you know featherweights and welterweights shared the cards together. So you know these guys pretty well. You got to see them fight. I really want to hear what you have to say because both these dudes are just freaking monsters.
At one point I thought it was gonna be Musayev pretty handily, but then the more like we see these guys all the time and we kind of like talk to them, you just get to see them work out and stuff, and like you always try to talk to these guys and like a little bit of language barrier, but they kind of work on their English and just oh man, I don't even know. This is they could choke you out, they could knock you out, and somebody's always got to go, man, for the belt. What a way to go for the championship, right?
Yeah, man.
This is one that I wish I didn't have to choose just because it's like, dude, either one can get got. I mean, hopefully they both stay healthy, and bring their best A game. If I have to choose, I might have to go Musayev, man. I feel like that guy can do it all. I mean, so can Molotov, but I just got a feeling. So I'm going with my gut.
Be honest, even though I've watched them fight, I have no prediction for this one. I'm just happy I get to see it.
Honestly. Yes, I just want to enjoy it as a fan.
And you know what? That's okay. I can watch fights without picking a side. I just want to have a good time watching some top-level fights.
Well, I didn't know that was an option. Now I want to take it back because, like, Molotov a bad motherfucker too, dude. So I'm like,
it's one of those fights you don't want to see anyone lose.
No.
But it's, as long as it's a good fight, But man, then we got a returning champ trying to win an extra mil. Impa Kasaganai. Oh, dude, I love Impa because
that guy is he's cool. He's a bad motherfucker, and he'll talk to you like he's known your whole life almost. Oh my God. I've talked to this guy a couple times, but
when you had your last fight, Impa was, walking around, chilling, doing pictures, and Mad Dog got a photo with him, and he was like, "Here, hold him." He's wearing a cowboy hat. Put the cowboy hat on him, and he was like, "Oh!" It's funny though because, Maddox is into the fight game a little bit, and he knows, hey, is this guy good? Is that guy? He takes pictures with Corey Sandhagen, Tatsura. He likes to meet people, and I have to explain to him that's the number one person in the world. This guy's number 8 in the world. And I have to tell him, the world, Maddox. The world. But when he met Impa was so cool, and I was like, "Hey, he's a millionaire." Millionaire? that was cooler than being a world champ. Millionaire. And I was just like, "Yes, Maddox, millionaire." But
it's been the fight game for a while, man. He fought for the UFC,
man, and I love his story about went against Buckley, and that one kick, everyone just thinks, "Nope, that's him now."
That sucks, man. I've been there. I've been on the bad end of highlight reels too, and it sucks because it was such a cool kick that it's that's gonna live on in history of just probably for the UFC too, of such a unique knockout.
Yeah, Impa could literally solve world hunger tomorrow, and he'd still be known for that guy. But man, he came to the PFL, put a hurting on everyone, and obviously I want to see where it goes after this tournament because he did fight. I'm drawing my blank. Bellator world champ.
What was this? This was light heavy.
Johnny Eblin. He fought Johnny Eblin. Lost. Close fight, but
still a good fight.
I
wanted to say Nemkov, but I forgot.
Yeah, he's a heavyweight now though. Vadim went up to heavyweight, but it's anyways, Impa has pretty much been killing it all the way through the tournament, and he's gonna have a really tough fight.
I feel like I'm gonna butcher this, but I've seen this dude too, who he's in the finals. Bad dude.
Dovlet
Yag Yagshimuradov.
There we go. If we said it wrong, man, we're sorry.
We're sorry,
just
I did not just. I mean, dude, he's had over 30 some fights. He's been in the game. I mean, dude, he's beat some bad dudes. He's lost some bad dudes. And I mean, don't let 7 losses fool you to think that this guy's a joke, a pud, because he is man. Not, dude. This guy comes at you and he brings the heat, man.
It's that relentless pressure, man.
He's trying to finish you. Mm-hmm. Which some of the bad thing is that like it just puts him in a spot to get hurt. But I mean, shit, dude, this is the way he fights. He's coming at you from start to finish. He's trying to finish you. He's trying to knock you out. He's trying to choke you out. Dude, this is an interesting matchup for Impa because, like, dude, all it takes is one, and this guy can catch you. So
I'll stick with Impa. I think he's been training so high level for a long time.
Dude, he's around a lot of bad dudes. Jason Jackson. I mean, he's at Kill Cliff, so it's like,
yeah. So that good team behind him, a lot of studs. I think he's gonna get it done, but it's gonna be a good close fight.
You know, man, who am I kidding? I like the other guy, but Impa, you're my dog, dude. Of course you're gonna win. Go get $2 million, bro.
Yeah,
go get yours.
Impa 2 stacks.
2 stacks.
Yeah. So
on to the co-main event.
And man, this one's interesting just because of the names. So you've got
Dakota Dangerous, who has been exactly that, man. She is a rising star and she is a face, dude. Everybody knows this name.
I think she's the female face of the PFL right now.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, maybe Cyborg, but her probably too. They've man, she's stopped everybody she's fought in her lead up to the finals. And I mean, she's got a very tough challenge ahead of her. Talia Santos ain't no joke, and she is a veteran of the game, man. She's fought high level for
she was in the UFC
so long.
Santos says they both went on it was just like a main streamline to the finals.
To each other. Directly to it was I was talking with some fighters, JJ Aldrich, huge love. I asked your opinion on this because her husband coaches me. So we were talking about this and she was like, honestly, she called it from the start. She's like, if I had to pick, she picked these two to be in the finals. Mm-hmm. And I kind of was asking her, I was like, well, if they fight, who do you think would win? She's like, I want to see a little bit more because at the start of Dacheva's early stardom, rise to stardom, we didn't know. Nobody knew. I mean, we knew she was a bad chick, but we didn't know exactly what she was all about. And shit, she's backed up everything she said. She walked the walk, she talked the talk, and she's in the finals. So I'm like, man, Talia Santos, dude, I love seeing a star rise and get theirs, but I'm also like, hey man, I like to see the seasoned vet compose herself well, does everything right, fan favorite. I like to see them get theirs too.
So, and something cool that Dakota does every time she wins by a finish, she does a Manchester City celebration, soccer or football for our friends across the pond. So every time she gets a finish, soccer players or footballers, because we want to appeal to everybody. She'll hit one of their celebrations, so she gets on it. Does the man? I that's such a cool thing because she's like,
it is cool. It gives people like from her hometown, from where she's all about, something to like cheer for and like get excited about.
Yeah, so I like that. She's definitely got a little swagger. She seems very confident. Talia Santos, dude, I mean, she fought at the highest level. She came over to PFL for one reason. Get that $1 million check. $1 million. And get some respect on her name. So for this one, I think Dakota's just got so much behind her. She knew that it was going to be Santos in the end, and I think that she's just been training for that and she's going to be ready. I say Dakota by, let's say, second round knockout.
Dang, you're going with the round call even? Because
I'm built different.
as much as I telling you I love you, Vin, I think I got to agree with you. You know, man, she's just hot right now, man. Her confidence is through the roof. She's coming off of 3 back-to-back-to-back stoppages against some pretty tough females. She does have her hands full with Talia. I think Talia is going to bring it all. She's going to throw the kitchen sink at her, takedowns, strikes, mixing it up. But I think it's her tournament to win right now.
Yeah, man. So Dakota's got it. Now, on to the main event. I honestly could, say a few things about this, but Justin's got the most experience to talk about this. Justin fought every single person that made it to the featherweight playoffs. And so I'll let JG go ahead and just go over this fight prediction because, firsthand what it's like to be in the cage with these two guys.
Let's just put it like this. I fought everybody in the playoffs. I fought both these guys who are currently in the finals. And my hat's off to both of them, man, because they're both some bad dudes. I know what I bring to the table. I take this game very serious. But, man, they were good. I got L's against both of them. One of which was decision to Kizriev back in Bellator. And the other one was a doctor stoppage to Loughnane in PFL. And they both have very distinct fighting styles. Loughnane is very good at what he does. He knows how to strike. He knows how to pull you into his game. He knows how to mix it up and look for things. He's like, based on what I'm doing, everybody has a certain type of reaction. And when they react one way, he does one thing. When they react another way, he's ready for it and does another. That guy's stand-up is pretty clean. As for Kizriev's striking is pretty clean as well. He has this weird way to pull you into him. And next thing you know, you're getting taken down. And, man, his wrestling is very, very strong. His striking's very clean. He mixes it up. And I feel like that's what's going to be the deciding factor of this fight is, we'll see. I think the striking would have to be in Loughnane's game, I think the grappling, Kizriev. But we've seen it, and Kizriev has done this to so many people before. He's going to take you down. He's going to tire you out. He's going to do some damage on the feet, but ultimately he's going to wear you down and ground and pound you until, man, it's hard to fight like that whenever you're so tired. So, man, I'm a big fan of both of them. I got a lot of love for both of them, being able to share the cage with them both. Man, I think this is Kizriev's tournament to win right now. I just think I think the takedowns are going to play a factor, and I think he is one of those guys who can take you down and hold you down, especially in a 5-round fight, man. You hold somebody down for 5-10 minutes, things change, and it gets a lot harder to fight back after that.
I agree. I think Kizriev's going to get it done. It stinks, though, because, Kizriev doesn't, he gets the credit he deserves because he is an undefeated fighter.
Undefeated, man. He's fought some high-level guys.
Where when I say credit, it's that, with respect to even you, his fights don't do fireworks like you would expect them to be. He's one of those people that just knows how to win.
Yeah,
and it's not necessarily boring fights, but fights where you think he has this giant gap on the competition. He should be, doing much, much better. Because his last fight against Braga, bullied Braga, took him down, arguably did what your game plan was and, got to a decision. Mm-hmm. Then he, before that in the playoffs, he fought against, it wasn't Carvalho. No, he did fight
Kizriev or Loughnane.
Kizriev fought Weichel. Took him to a decision.
That's who I was thinking first was Weichel.
So Kizriev is a monster, dude. He is tough as fucking nails. I believe he's going to win, but I would love to see him get after it and go shoot for a finish, because otherwise, early on, I think the first 3 rounds, if he's not, securing the takedowns, honestly, I think Loughnane can surprise him.
Piece him up, and hey, dude, we all know it only takes one.
Man, because now Loughnane, he was in the cage with Bubba Jenkins, high level wrestler, was able to beat him. Yeah. So Loughnane, I think he's well aware that he's got to keep this off.
He has to do. He's a veteran of the game. He's like 30-5,
and he's won this tournament before.
Yes,
and he didn't get there from just I only strike. No, he knows it's a all around the game. So I'm going to go with Timmer, but I'm not going to be surprised if Brendan can get the knockout in the first 3 rounds. Yeah, if it's after that, honestly, I think
if it goes the distance, I think Kisriev gets the win.
Kisriev gets the win. I agree. So, man, that was so many fights, so many predictions, so many things to reflect
on. There's a lot going on in the MMA world.
And I guess one thing to, close out on is that, we talked about the good things that we're thankful for with Thanksgiving. We're going to shift a little bit to wrestling. Wrestling is the worst holiday to be put right there with Thanksgiving. It's the worst season to have with Thanksgiving.
It's the worst season to have during Thanksgiving season.
Like, you want to put it like, oh, hey, it's a spring sport. You want to put it around Easter? Who cares? I don't want to eat those smelly eggs. Hey, hunt some eggs, do some cake, whatever. But when you have a holiday like Thanksgiving and you're a wrestler and you're doing weight certifications, hydration testing, and then you're like, okay, I got to be on my A game.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's hard.
It sucks. I mean, how many Thanksgivings did you have to skip?
Tons, dude. Tons. We were always going out to Texas. It was called the Panhandle Nationals. Some of you guys who are going out this weekend, go handle business.
Go get that belt.
Go get that belt. That's a cool thing. For that tournament, they give out belts instead of trophies. So, shoot, man, I missed a bunch. And like, grandma's all mad at dad, telling him, he needs to eat. He needs to eat. Nah, he'll be fine. He needs to make weight. He'll be all right.
I ate.
Dang, that sucks.
Vinny ate. But, man, it's crazy, Joe. Man, coaching, I got kids that are worried about going like, hey, we got a dual tournament literally the week after Thanksgiving. And so many kids are like, Coach, I don't think I'm going to make it to this thing. And I was like, well, decide. Do you want, how damn good is this turkey that you are like, I'm not going to go down this?
Pretty damn good.
So then that's always a tough thing with wrestling is you kind of have to place certain things on a pedestal. What's more important to you? For the top level guys, I mean, I talked about it before. Spencer Lee, he was always like, there was no such thing as holidays in wrestling season. You always were just wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just another day. And so if you're a wrestler and you don't know what to do with Thanksgiving, honestly, guys, just rationalize it. Have a little bit here, have a little bit there. Get a workout in that morning.
Make sure you get a workout in that morning. That's what we always did. That's what we always do still. Get a couple of your buddies, man, so you can have some food, can have a decent meal. Not saying you got to splurge, maybe just stay away from the pie.
Yeah,
but make sure you enjoy it.
Load up
time we spent with your family too.
Yeah. So, and oh man, it's gonna be the first Thanksgiving without Jaybird. It's gonna be a tough one.
But because we miss you, we love you.
So, and that's something that people don't really think about. It's like I think some people want to talk about the historical part of Thanksgiving and how the Native Americans and the Pilgrims, had their issues and differences. But I think nowadays, look at Thanksgiving for what the good things you have, what you're thankful for. And, for us, dear family member that isn't going to be with us, it's going to be a little different, not having that banter with him and having those fun times.
Banter. That is the best word for him.
And this one's for the audience. You ever go on those walks before you go eat with your cousins? Well, it's going to be a real good walk for him. We're going to go take a walk, if you know what I'm saying.
Go take a walk for Jaybird.
But guys, thank you again for tuning in. It was a great episode. We got to go over a whole ton of stuff. We're going to have another guest on the show coming up soon.
Here soon, probably next week or so.
And hey, you guys can get a glimpse and a little sneak peek of who's going to be our guest. But the only way you do so is by going and liking our socials, man. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place, man. And we want your guys' support. Share our videos, like our videos, comment on them. We're going to get a little bit more in depth. Obviously, you can tell the video quality is a lot better. We're really up in our ante. We're going to give you guys the best possible podcasts that we can possibly give. And part of that comes from you guys doing your job and just showing the love and support for the show. So you guys like it. We'll get cooler guests. We'll get more, interesting people. We'll get more, tech.
We're going to keep them coming. we're firing away, man. We're trial and error right here. So quality over quantity, I guess.
Exactly. So again, with Blood, Sweat, and Banner, Vinny Headlock Gonzalez,
Justin J Train, thanks for tuning in. Give us that like, give us that follow. Shit, if you got some different picks, let us hear it.
Yeah, man, throw it in the comments. Tell us how we're stupid and how we should be giving certain fighters more of a look. You know, we want to hear it from you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you all. Peace out.